I want to ask y'all, what has been some blessing in disguises this season? We always talk about the negatives, but we don't talk about the positives that come from it.
Probably the Jayson Tatum injury for the Celtics, maybe.
Sure.
Just because we've been able to see this new level of Jaylen Brown, and when Jayson Tatum comes back, if they both are, if he's able to keep that play up, then that dynamic duo that has already been lethal and dangerous and led to success is now even better. And I think they'll need them to kind of be an even better, stronger duo, because the last time we seen this team, it had Drew Holiday, Kristaps, Al Horford, and it's going to be a new situation. So maybe that one. And then as a fan, I think we all appreciate and seeing a guy like Jaylen Brown, who most people would have just taken him for what he was, kind of level up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's been a blessing in disguise, a bit dope.
Yeah, it was on my list too, because you would expect eventually, maybe a year down the line, Tatum is back to being an All-NBA first-team player. Mm-hmm. And if he's doing that, and right now Jaylen Brown's like a top 10 player in the league. If you got two of those dudes, then it might not be a blessing in disguise as soon as Tatum comes back.
Right.
But in a year's time, it would be cool.
I totally agree too, because again, when they won the championship, they were kind of rivaling each other. Where Jaylen Brown ended up winning the Finals MVP, but there was legit conversations. I think we kind of understood that Tatum was the better player, but it's good conversation to have when you have two of the top players in the league and they're trying to see who's the better one.
Yeah, I think it allows Tatum to not have to rush back with a cape on either. You know what I mean? Because it's the rumors that he'll come back and return this season, which I do believe is going to happen. And when he does, he won't have to feel the pressure of dragging some team out. They're going to be in a good spot. Jaylen Brown is going to be a guy that he can lean on while he's getting his rhythm and knocking some rust off, because that's going to happen. It's just unrealistic to expect Jayson Tatum to come back and be that All-NBA player from day one, and he'll be able to ease back into everything. And I think that's dope, because you look at the opposite situation where a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, when you look at the Pacers, it's like when he comes back, they're going to need him to be Tyrese Halliburton. You know what I mean? Or something close to it, because they down in a dumpster without him. So
they literally the 15th seed. So, yeah, he don't have to come back with it.
Yeah.
One thing I think is the Blazers' paybook. Like, when you look at their paybook, with them having Dame at 20 and Denny Avdia at under $20 million a year annually, they can go into this offseason and, they got some financial flexibility that they can really work with. So, like, none of their contracts on their roster are, like, significantly huge to where they can't have any sort of flexibility to try to maybe round out this roster and figure out what they want to do in the offseason.
So you saying Dame injury is a blessing in disguise?
Well, him getting bought out.
I think it's
about $1.
I don't think that's a blessing.
I think it's more so
That's
like
just a blessing, right?
I think it's Denny's breakout on that contract. Because now you have an all-star level player making $13 million. And again, if Dame is just Damian Lillard, obviously coming off a injury like this, you got to be a little patient with it. But again, Damian Lillard, I know that shot probably not going nowhere. So you have just two really high upside guys, and what's that, 25 mil? There's role players making $25 million a year. So I agree with that part.
Earlier in the season, Kay Cunningham went down with an injury that held him out for 3 games. Blessed in disguise. Because out of nowhere, Dennis Jenkins put up 20 and 14 against the Bulls, and they went on a nice little streak. And now, Dennis Jenkins occasionally get a DMP because they're just fully healthy. But now, anytime K misses time, anytime anybody in the rotation misses time, you just can expect Dennis Jenkins to come in and just be like a real NBA player. And I don't think they knew they had a real NBA player sitting there until K missed those games. So I think that's a blessing in disguise.
I love the fact that he's always ready. Like, I think that's something that I think not everyone has. Like, they can get DMPs and then still just show up and be ready to hoop. Some guys might be a little, like, disgruntled or out of rhythm, and, like, he's just always ready. He's ready for his moment, and he is not afraid of it. Like, he's even ready in, like, clutch moments. Like, he's ready to take big shots, and he's a hooper, man. I like him. Jaylen Tyson has been a blessing in disguise for the Cavs.
Shout out to Jay. I'm glad you said that. Jaylen Tyson, they played against the Hornets.
Oh, yeah.
And he stopped by and said, "What up?" So he remember us.
Yeah, no, he's a blessing in disguise for the Cavs. I think he's really bloomed this year. And I know early in the season I said the Cavs probably wish they would have taken Keyshawn George, but I think at this point they probably just happy with having Jaylen Tyson. Like, Jaylen Tyson's been everything that they probably will want from a wing.
Which was my rebuttal. Relax on my boy. Talking about they wanted Keyshawn
One for
George.
me.
Now the Wizards want Jaylen Tyson, huh?
No, I think luckily both parties are just happy.
For sure.
As long as they're not the Bucks.
One for me is the lack of point guard play right now for the Mavericks, because Cooper Flagg has been just tasked with a lot of responsibility. And again, I just been loving his reps. I feel like he's getting super comfortable at just handling the ball at this level and making plays, getting to the paint. And once you have Kyrie back, or you have your point guard of the future, I think he's going to fit like real comfortable off the ball as well as on the ball too.
I think it's crazy watching the Mavs because
they look really good one day.
Yeah, but also it's like Jason Kidd has this weird point guard rotation where you don't know who's starting, and also you see D'Lo just sitting there, and it's like, man, he's so confused on who to play at point guard, and he even went to the podium and said we don't have point guard play, but he's still not playing you. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's so crazy that D'Lo is like that far into the gutter to where
he's just kind of been like going with the hot hand. Like if Brandon Williams is doing his thing, he'll go with that. If Nembhard is doing his thing, he'll go with him. But like he kind of feels it out, which at this point you can't even blame him.
Yeah.
I also think that those guys give you a certain amount of effort on the defensive side of the basketball that he values more.
Yes.
Knowing that Jason Kidd is a defensive-minded coach. Another blessing in disguise. We've talked about the Utah Jazz for a few years now because we've waited for somebody to kind of step out, and it's been disappointing because they've had so many picks here, so many picks there, and it felt like those guys didn't materialize to what you would have wanted, especially when you have taken them. But I think that blessing in disguise is allowing a guy like Keontae George to continue to play through the mistakes and grow as a guy. And he had a bunch of, room to grow to the point where he looks like that guy that stepped out. It took a couple years, but I feel like if those guys in the past few years were more of staples, he maybe not has that room to grow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have a lottery pick who is allocating 13, 14 shots, and a previous lottery pick is getting 11, 12 shots, and you want them on the ball, and you want to see them do this and do that, he maybe goes to the side, but because those guys haven't shown that or been able to earn that responsibility, it allowed him to still have so much room to go because he played through a lot of mistakes and, was taking questionable shots over the last couple of years, but now those shots are makes, and it's been good to see. And I think they have something legit there at that guard and another potential building block going forward that I don't think we looked at them having last year at the end of the season.
I'll throw one out real quick. Norman Powell getting traded, blessing in disguise for Norman Powell. Last year he was in conversations for All-Star. Now that he's in Eastern Conference, the dude is basically a lock. That's a win.
Norm,
that's a win.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.